You know that voice in your head, the one that's constantly narrating everything? We all have it. We call it I. We just assume it's in charge. But what if it's not? What if that whole idea is something we can, well, uproot entirely? That's what we're going to get into in this explainer. Let's dive in.
So let's just jump right in with a big question. When a thought pops into your head, who exactly is doing the thinking? The automatic answer is always, well, I am, of course, but we're going to spend the next few minutes really challenging that basic assumption, using some pretty ancient wisdom as our guide.
All right, so first things first, we need to get a really clear picture of what we're investigating here. This powerful, almost automatic sense of self that narrates our lives, the one that claims every single experience as its own, let's give it a name. For our purposes, let's go ahead and call it the thinker. Okay, I know this quote sounds a little over the top, right? I am the divinity. But think about it. It's just the ultimate expression of that same internal voice. It points to this really deep instinct we have to see ourselves as the central creator, the doer at the heart of our own universe. It's that feeling that I am the source of it all. Right, so that is what we're talking about, the thinker. It's this nonstop commentary in our minds that takes all the raw data of life, sights, sounds, feelings, and immediately slaps an ownership sticker on it. I see this. I feel that. I think this. This is the core myth, the basic assumption we're here to pull apart. Okay, so now we get to the really wild part. The sources we're looking at offer a direct, and I mean radical, challenge to this identity we've all built. It's a fundamental break from the way we normally see the world and ourselves. And here it is. You can see the contrast plain as day. On the left, that's our default mode. I am the one perceiving. It feels totally seamless, completely obvious. But look at the right. This new perspective drives a huge wedge right into that assumption. Perception would be one thing, the self another. And get this isn't just some abstract philosophical idea. It's presented as an actual instruction, a whole new way of looking at things. So you might be asking, if I'm not the one doing the perceiving, then what in the world is going on? Well, this is where the texts shift our focus away from a person, an entity, a self, and towards something way more, well, mechanical and impersonal. And this is absolutely key. Consciousness isn't a static thing that we possess. It's a dynamic event. It's a process that just flickers into existence when, and only when, the right conditions are met. So instead of thinking of it as some permanent resident living in your head, it's more like a spark that happens only when flint hits steel. It's a chain reaction. And what's so fascinating here is how this whole process gets broken down. Look at these steps. An eye and a color come together. Based on that meeting, visual consciousness arises. When those three things meet, that's called contact. And because of that contact, a feeling arises. Pleasant, painful, or just neutral. Now, see what's not on that list? There's no I in there. No boss in the control room making it all happen. It's just an automatic, conditioned sequence of events. Okay, so if this is all just an automatic process, does that mean we're just along for the ride? Well, not quite. The key isn't to somehow stop this process, you can't, but to change how you react to it. And this is where the training comes in. It's about learning to interact with our own experience in a completely new way, which makes this whole idea incredibly practical. And this quote just nails it. It shows us exactly where we can step in. The feeling itself, that pleasant feeling, it arises automatically. That's just part of the chain reaction. But the very next step, the approving, the welcoming, the clinging to it, that's the habit. The training is all about catching the mind right at that critical moment, before the story of, ooh, I like this, I need more of this, can take root. So what does that actually look like? What's the practice? Well, it starts with what's called guarding the sense stores. And this doesn't mean, plugging your ears and closing your eyes. It just means noticing a sight or a sound without immediately getting lost in all the little details and judgments about it. From there, you practice restraint. You don't let yourself get totally swept away by that immediate pull of, I love this or I hate this. And eventually, this leads to a real understanding of feelings for what they are. Just temporary events that pop up, hang around for a bit, and then fade away, all on their own. So, if you do all this, what happens? What's the payoff? Well, it's not described as some kind of self-improvement project where you become a better you. Instead, it's talked about as a profound letting go, a state of being totally unburdened and free. I mean, what a powerful image, right? A yoke. It's that heavy wooden bar that binds an animal and forces it to pull a massive load.
This training is described as finally slipping out from under that burden, the heavy burden of having to be someone, of constantly having to maintain and defend this idea of a self. And this just takes that idea of freedom even deeper. A Brahman here just means a fully liberated person. And that freedom isn't about what you own, it's about a state of non-identification. Having nothing, taking nothing, it means you stop grasping onto any part of this mental process and trying to build a solid self out of it. You stop claiming experiences as lying. And we have to finish this section with this image. It's just so perfect. The final result isn't about destroying something, it's about renewal. It's like a snake shedding an old skin that's just gotten too tight, too constricting. What's left isn't emptiness or a void, but a completely fresh, unburdened way of being in the world. So when you boil it all down, what's the big takeaway? It's this. Perception is a process, not a person. This entire complex show can unfold moment by moment without a thinker sitting in the driver's seat. And that leaves us with a question I want you to take with you. The next time a thought pops into your head, instead of automatically claiming it as your thought, just pause and ask yourself, who or what is it arising to?